Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Deleted Scenes from Sunday's Sermon. Today's topic, won't you be my neighbor? Listen to what the Bible says in John chapter 13, verse 34. A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. When it came to Jews and Samaritans, it was like oil and water, they didn't mix. This is why Jesus shocked the world when he gave us the parable of the Good Samaritan. A band of robbers ambushed a man as he was traveling down from the city of Jerusalem. Then they left him for dead there on the side of the road. Shortly thereafter, a priest and then later a Levite came walking down that same road. But when they saw that man, they just walked on by the other side. Here were two individuals that were held in high regard, and yet they failed to administer help to this person whose life hung in the balance. And then Jesus said a third person came walking down the same road, a Samaritan. And when he saw the man, he had compassion for him. He went over to him and he administered first aid. And then he carried him to what we would call a local urgent care center to receive more care. The parable of the Good Samaritan is a scandal because of the ethnic and religious tensions that existed between both Jews and Samaritans. Jews looked down on Samaritans, and Samaritans would not tolerate that kind of behavior, so they were really at war with one another. But here in this parable, two of the most respected people in Jewish society failed to do what the most disrespected person in Jewish culture did for this man. Now keep in mind that Jesus is giving this parable because an expert of the law stood up and challenged him publicly by asking him this question: who is my neighbor? And Jesus responded by giving the man the parable of the Good Samaritan and then asking him this question. In Luke chapter 10, verse 36, which of these three do you think was a neighbor? The expert's question was designed to put limits on God's love. He thought he could pick and choose who he was going to love. But Jesus shifts the focus away from the object to be loved to the subject who's supposed to show love. Jesus was saying to this expert, the question isn't, what kind of person am I supposed to love? Instead, the question is, what kind of person am I supposed to be? Wow. Imagine if we thought this way this week. Jesus, what kind of person am I supposed to be with the people you put in my path who are in need? If we started thinking like that, we would start talking less about race and more about God's grace. We would go from loving people as we love ourselves to loving our neighbors and our enemies the same way that Jesus loved us. We would go from asking the question, who is my neighbor, to singing the song, won't you be my neighbor? Thank you for listening, and may God richly bless you this day. Thank you for tuning in to our YouTube channel. To listen to Sunday's sermon in its entirety, please click on the link below. If you enjoyed today's video, please let us know by commenting, subscribing, and giving us a thumbs up. Thank you.